Howdy folks. Okay, we're back in the garage. So we had a snowstorm. We didn't really call it a snowstorm, but that storm was predicted to be like 6 inches of snow. We ended up with like an inch. So we put the plow on there, and now today's the next day, but tomorrow we're predicted to have an 8-inch storm. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna switch back to the snow blower because I don't want to get caught, just in case we have more than that. You never know with these storms. But I'm gonna switch back to the snow blower and get this thing ready for tomorrow. I might have to put some fuel in here too. So let's get at it. All right, so I don't want to waste too much time, so I'm gonna try and do this relatively quick. I need to have the door open for a little bit. So I'm pulling these 2 pins. All right, so now the plow can come right off. I'm just gonna move this to the side for now. So the plow is not that heavy. It was easier moving this thing before we put the wings on it. Oh, so one thing I have to do first is get this pin lined up before we start putting this on, this pin here. So this allows the plow to pivot. When the snow blower is on, you don't want it to pivot, so you put this pin in. Sorry, pointing down. But this pin has to go in right here, so I may have to start the tractor. It looks like it's off a little bit. Cotter pin in. It's not really a cotter pin, it's more of an E-clip, C-clip type thing. Okay, that went right on. Beautiful. And again, these are for the left to right motion of the plow. So today my son's at school, so I'll be working alone, which is okay. I gotta be able to continue to do this stuff at the same time as teaching them how to do it. So all I do is I'll get some zip ties to put back on here later. So let's just get this. This is for the linear actuator. We gotta be able to get at that. They're clear here. All right, so now we're gonna get this in a rough position. Gotta watch the drive shaft. All right, so I'm keeping an eye on this drive shaft here. I don't want that to hit, because this bracket's kind of a pain. So this bracket got to be pushed out of the way. So as we creep this forward, now I got to get the drive shaft started. Oh, it actually went right on. Beautiful. So now we're going to lower we're going to get this nub in this slot. So we're going to lower this bracket down, and I'm going to try and do it without starting the tractor. Since there's no weight on it, it's going to be a lot harder to push down. So I might, oh no, it's going. So that's probably pretty good there. Let's see. Get that out of float mode. There's something's hitting there. Okay, so I've got to be careful here because I am by myself, so I don't want to get my hand caught or something like that. So this is the one thing I don't like about this cart that it's on, is that it's too high, the wheels are too big, so I need to build something a little better for the future. Oh yeah. Alright, that's going perfect. Alright, so that worked like a charm. So all I got to do is get these pins in position now. But anytime you're working with machinery like this, you really got to pay attention, especially when you're by yourself in these awkward positions. You don't want to trap a leg or pinch an arm or something like that. Then I'll have to cut it off with a buck knife or something like that. So all I'm going to do now is get this out from under it. Beautiful. So the hard parts are already done. By lowering this down a little bit, I should be able to get those pins to drop right in. Did it go in? It sounded like it. Alright, this side went in. There we go. Alright, just like I ordered it. So now, we just got to get these plugged back in. So, just to explain, the difference with these two lines on the plow is by removing the pin down there, these two lines allow the plow to go left and right. So that becomes a four-way plow. Up and down, left and right. So with the snow blower, these two lines actually work this chute here. It allows the chute to go left and right, left and right. And then the linear actuator, which is this, is electronically controlled with a two-way switch over there. And this is an electric worm gear, and that just makes the deflector go up and down. And the auger is driven by the drive shaft, which is the power takeoff. All right, you got that? There will be a test on it later. And mainly I'm talking to people who don't necessarily own a tractor, but who might be wanting to, purchase one or get into, machinery like this. So there's not a lot of full explanation videos sometimes. So I like to try and be a little thorough. So they got to go through here first. 1 and 2. That's good. Now we do the black one, which for the plow is gray. And that's only because they probably didn't have a black coat cover. Okay. That's it. So we are connected. Fully connected. I just got to do the linear actuator. The linear actuator. So what I did here was, because this is a moving part, so I kind of keep this loose. So I basically go through here. Okay? Now this end is open. This end is not. So I made this cover because right now this is hot. So if you touch this to metal, it'll spark. You gotta be careful. So we'll just connect that there. Make sure it doesn't get tangled in anything. And I just kind of leave it loose so that gives it freedom of movement. And then we put this in the same spot every time we take it off so we can see it there. So the plow we used yesterday, and that worked out really well. And I already gave this a good greasing too. Like you can see the fitting on the drive shaft there, but we gave this thing a good greasing, so all the drive shafts are pretty good. Always keep spare shear pins. There's that's a shear pin there, and there's another one on this side. And you also check your gearbox here, which I checked that last year, and I only did the use the plow or the snow blower twice, and there's no puddles underneath, so that's pretty good. But that's it. That is it. I didn't want to take a chance and run the plow just in case we got 12, 14 inches of snow. You just don't know. But for those wet, shallow storms, yeah, that plow is perfect. But you can't beat these blowers. And just so you know, that you can use the snow blower like a plow. It's just not as wide, and you're not going to be able to steer it. But if on the occasion, sometimes you just got to push a pile a little bit, you can push it with this. Not a big deal. All right, we got to get some fuel in this tractor. Alright, so you'd like to do this on warmer days, but everything is so cold and stiff right now. It's got to be done. We're at about a half tank of fuel. Whoop. So this ain't like at the gas pump. Nothing's coming in there yet till like manual pumps. Hear it going in yet?
Yeah.
Alright, you're gonna have to watch. Tell me when it's getting up full. All right, so you saw me drive up and down here again. I leave tire tracks because if this freezes over before it melts, you'll be able to walk up and down here without having to sand the driveway. Gives you traction. All right, so the boys just moving the cars back in the driveway. I love driving in the snow. All right, so today I did the roof rake first, which I usually do. Last few times I didn't though, so it's better to do it before you start shoveling and all that stuff.